Okay, my students, good evening. How are you? Actually, on Friday, I could not conduct your class, and on Thursday, and on Friday, and on Saturday, Sunday, and this week, even the Monday, that is Gandhi Jayanti, so these were the holidays. So there has been slightly a bit more gap, but you people are working in other subjects as well, so I think you are not going to be much affected due to this factor. And from today, once again, I'm resuming the same class and at the same, you can say, issue. So part 2 is almost at the point of getting finished. The part 2 is just, you can say, that is the last class today. And in advance, I have given you 2 topics today. I'm not sure whether have you downloaded this topic or not. One is the science and technology in ancient period. If you people have downloaded and partially got through it, so it is a matter of great happiness for me. If not, so it's my suggestion कि please go through both the topics, because tomorrow I have to start the part 3rd, and that is the political history first. The same political, administrative, economic, social and cultural formula which we have followed in part 2nd. So the same formula has to be followed even the part 3rd. तो मेरा सजेशन यह है कि आप लोग पहले आप हिंट करिए, आज आपने डाउनलोड किया है या नहीं?
Yes. Okay.
Okay, good. Ab now, go through the 5 MCQ questions. For that you people are eager, too much eager. In Ajanta caves, which of the following images are depicted? Point 1, Buddha and Bodhisattvas. Point 2, Vishnu. Point 3, Durga, Shiva and Parvati. Choose the correct code. Choice A, 1 only. Choice B, 1 and 2. Choice C, 1 and 3. And choice D, 1, 2 and 3. Be fast.
Maximum A.
Choice number A, 1 only. Good. Quite praiseworthy. Sometimes I am so excited because seldom you can commit mistake in prelims question. आप बहुत कम बार गलतियां करते हो. Seldom you commit a mistake in a question. So it is a matter of great happiness and satisfaction for me. Question number 2. In context of the famous Satriya dance, consider the following statements. 1. Satriya is a combination of music, dance and drama. Point 2. It is a centuries-old living tradition of Vaishnavites in Assam. Point 3. It is based on classical ragas and talas of devotional songs composed by Tulsidas, Kabir and Mirabai. This question was exactly in UPSC. So please pay attention to it. और क्वेश्चन वैसे भी यूपीएससी में आप सेंस के आधार पर पकड़ोगे, जरा सेंस के आधार पर आंसर को पकड़ने की कोशिश करो. What you know as intellectual gaze?
Maximum B. Bombay.
Yes, good. Quite praiseworthy, or you can say quite commendable. मेरा विश्वास है कि आप लोग जब प्रीलिम्स में जाओगे तो जरूर अच्छा करोगे. मुद्दा सिर्फ इसी क्वेश्चन का नहीं है. आपकी जो अंडरस्टैंडिंग बन गई है, दैट इज गोइंग टू हेल्प यू टू फाइंड आउट. मतलब अब देखो, क्वेश्चन में आपको एक रेस्पॉन्स लेने का, एक करेक्ट रेस्पॉन्स लेने का एक मेंटल स्टेटस बन गया है. तो वहां भी तुम करेक्ट रेस्पॉन्स से लोगे, और बस यही प्रीलिम्स के सक्सेस के लिए चाहिए. माय स्टूडेंट्स, देयर इज नो लिमिट टू फैक्ट्स, अनलिमिटेड. इट वाज अ वास्ट ओशन. यू आर delving deep into the vast ocean, but if your understanding is clear, you can excel in both all exams, whether it may be prelims or mains. Question number 3. In which field of art did the Guptas make contributions? Point 1, sculpture. Point 2, mural painting. Point 3, miniature painting. Choice A 1 only, choice B 2 only, choice C 1 and 2, choice D 1, 2 and 3. Be fast.
Maximum D.
Maximum D. My friends, you have chosen D. Possibly what I have just made a claim and you people have just tried to slightly frustrate me. मतलब कहीं मेरी नजर तो आपको नहीं लग गई. देखिए स्कल्पचर करेक्ट, mural painting and fresco painting, that is wall, on the wall painting. But miniature painting that started from 10th century and Jainas in Gujarat and Rajasthan it started from 10th century when on the Burj Patra or Tal Patra the paintings were engraved. But my students, it became possible from 10th century onwards, and Gupta is associated with Ajanta paintings, that is mural paintings, not the miniature paintings. So here the answer should be choice number C 1 and 2 only. How can you commit a mistake, you brilliant people, in this question? Mr. Ankur, क्या situation है?
C तो आ रहा है सर.
C आ रहा answer. C is the correct answer, not D. There is no scope for miniature painting, you know. Then Chaur Panchasika style. Chaur Panchasika style is associated with which of the following art forms? A. Architecture, B. Painting, C. Sculpture, D. Literature. Chaur Panchasika style. Be fast. Be fast, my students.
Maximum D.
Choice number
D.
what?
D.
B for Bombay. Yes, paintings. That is the correct answer. Chaur Panchasika. I mentioned this Chaur Panchasika in the form of paintings. B is the correct answer. Question number 5. Birju Maharaja has been associated with which of the following classical dance form? Which of the following classical dance forms? Which of the following classical dance forms? Choice A Kathak, choice B Kathakali, choice C Bharatnatyam and choice D Kuchipudi.
Maximum A.
Yes, Birju Maharaj is associated with Kathak. That is correct. My students, you seldom commit mistake, but how in question number 3rd you have committed a mistake, majority of you, it is still a matter of surprise. In miniature painting कुछ न कुछ धोखा हुआ है, नहीं तो आप लोग उस क्वेश्चन को गलत नहीं करते. This is a great consolation for me. अब देखिए, अब मिस्टर अंकुर जस्ट रिकॉल कि have I given any question on मेंस for them? कोई मेंस का क्वेश्चन भी होमवर्क दिया था इनको? कोई मेंस का क्वेश्चन तो होमवर्क नहीं दिया था? इसमें नहीं, एक्चुअली प्रीवियस क्वेश्चन में कोई मेंस का तो नहीं दिया था ना होमवर्क?
No, sir.
They are just replying no. Yes. My students, you are coming to science and tech, you know. Science and tech in ancient India. So my students, here you can see that is very clearly mentioned. Nothing is new. So I am going to discuss it and you will recall in the class itself, as you are brilliant people. Now I am going to discuss about science and tech. So firstly, I have to discuss and I have to give focus over mathematics and science. Mathematics and science, you know. I was talking about mathematics. So in the math, first one is numerals. Numerals. In math, you can say, in mathematics, numerals. Now here I have to inform you, you will come to know कि actually ancient people evolved or developed numerals, जिसको कहते हो अंकमाला. इन्होंने अंकमाला का विकास किया था. And for your information, in Europe, it was the Greek people who also developed the numerals, undoubtedly. But my friends, here you can say, but here you have to be informed that it is really a matter of surprise that the European people didn't learn numerals from the Greek people or the Greeks. Rather, they learned directly numerals from India. And who worked as an intermediary between India and Europe at that time? It was the Arabic scholars. I will discuss with you that there was a time that the Arab scholars played a very great role in human civilization, or in the, you can say, the civilization of early medieval age after the rise of Islam. Tomorrow, whenever I have to discuss about the expansion of Islam in part 2, part 3rd, and how did Islam play a very constructive role sometime, and there was a time under the Caliph rule of Baghdad, the scholars as well as the education was patronized under the Islamic Empire. So I will inform you. So it was the Arab scholars who carried the idea of numerals from India and made Europeans familiar with the Indian numerals. मतलब जो अरब के विद्वान थे वो कभी बहुत प्रोग्रेसिव हुआ करते थे. इस्लाम कभी बहुत प्रोग्रेसिव हुआ करता था. वह कहीं न कहीं उस समय खलीफा के राज में विद्या, एजुकेशन को और स्कॉलर्स को बगदाद जो आज इराक में है वो कैपिटल था उस समय कैलिफ का, अब्बासी कैलिफ का, अब्बासी खलीफा का. तो उनके दरबार में विद्वानों को संरक्षण मिलता था. और इट वॉज द अरबिक स्कॉलर्स हु ट्रांसलेटेड द इंपॉर्टेंट बुक्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड इनटू अरबिक लैंग्वेज. सो दे जस्ट कैरीड दिस नॉलेज टू यूरोपियन स्कॉलर्स. हियर आई हैव टू इन्फॉर्म यू न्यूमेरल्स. तो इसलिए जो वेस्ट यूरोपियन स्कॉलर्स है दे आर कॉलिंग द न्यूमेरल्स एज अरबिक, बट Arabian scholars themselves prefer to call them as हिंदसा. मतलब वो जो यूरोपियन स्कॉलर्स है इसको अरबिक बोलते हैं, लेकिन अरब स्कॉलर्स स्वयं इसको हिंदसा बोलते हैं, हिंदुस्तान से लिया हुआ है. उसके बाद जीरो. इंडिया इन्वेंटेड जीरो. वेस्टर्न वर्ल्ड वॉज नॉट फैमिलियर विद द यूज ऑफ जीरो. वंस देयर वाज, यू कैन से, द retired judge from Supreme Court, you might have heard about Markandeya Katiju. So somewhere he wrote, actually if the European scholars have to write 1 lakh, so they had to write 1,100 times. But Indians, while putting 50 on one digit, they can directly write 1 lakh. तो हम लोगों का जो जीरो का प्रयोग है इंडिया में वो बहुत, जैसे न्यूमेरल्स लगभग मानते हैं कि 3rd सेंचुरी BC में इसका शुरू हुआ. जीरो का जो है वो 2nd सेंचुरी BC में शुरू हुआ. तो ये आप देखते हो कि जीरो का भी प्रयोग है. इसके अलावा आपको इस इंफॉर्मेशन मिलता है कि इंडियंस को डेवलप जियोमेट्री. तो इवन इन वेस्टर्न वर्ल्ड कैन लर्न जियोमेट्री फ्रॉम इंडिया. सो Indians could make them familiar with geometry. Then comes the term of algebra. You might have heard about the thing algebra. Algebra basically, you can say, geometry. In geometry, India was quite developed, and you can very understand it if in India you find ancient India so much town planning, etc. So it's what algebra. So algebra was also much developed in ancient period. Then comes trigonometry. trigonometry. You might have heard about trigonometry. So who was the father of trigonometry? Do you know? That was Aryabhatta. In Gupta period, there was a great scientist of his time and a great astronomer. तो उसको खगोल विज्ञान का भी नॉलेज था, एस्ट्रोनॉमर था, आर्यभट्ट. यू माइट हैव हर्ड अबाउट. सो आर्यभट्ट, he carried a measurement of a triangle. So he did a measurement of the triangle, so developed trigonometry. Aryabhatta is the father of trigonometry, you know. And Aryabhatta was familiar with the use of decimal. आर्यभट्ट को डेसिमल का भी नॉलेज था, and possibly the use of decimal started from 5th century CE. And one important information, there was a great mathematician and astronomer of the Gupta period. You might have heard the name. His name was Brahmagupta. So Brahmagupta was developed, you can say, knowledge of negative digits. Negative digits. The ancient people negative digits के भी knowledge से वाकिफ थे. Here you can say कि that is what, that is, you know, -1, -2, -3, -4. So that is the negative digits. So Brahmagupta started to use negative digits as well. So in ancient mathematics, Indians were unparalleled. Even today you can say in two fields India is leading country. One is mathematics, another is chess, and it is due to, you can say, we have produced the great mathematician even during medieval age. You have heard about, and it was due to Ramanujam, etc. You might have heard about a lot. But here you come to know that in fact, due to our knowledge or excellence in the field of mathematics, the Indians today could excel even in the field of engineering. In engineering technology, we have excelled in the, India is a leading country today, and this is the reason. और इसके बाद astronomy, that is mathematics, and then in science you can say astronomy. Astronomy. अब why were ancient people familiar with astronomy? What was the basic incentive behind the knowledge of astronomy? The basic incentive was, जैसे खगोल विज्ञान इसको बोलते हैं, खगोल विज्ञान की जानकारी हमें क्यों चाहिए थी? So there were two reasons. One reason was the ancient people were taking planets as gods and semi-gods. So the ancient people were just keeping their eyes over the movement of planets. मतलब जो प्राचीन भारत के लोग थे वो कहीं ना कहीं जो ग्रह और नक्षत्र हैं उनको देवता समझते थे, गॉड समझते थे, तो उनके हर मूवमेंट पर नजर रखते थे. एक तो ये फैक्टर था. सेकेंड वन फैक्टर वाज कि द एंशिएंट इंडियंस were having the knowledge of, actually basically in order to carry the agriculture, they needed the knowledge of the climatic change and the weather change. तो उनको कहीं ना कहीं जलवायु में होने वाले परिवर्तन की भी जानकारी चाहिए थी और वेदर में मौसम की, क्योंकि वह कृषि करते थे. सो दैट्स व्हाई दे आर कीपिंग द आइज ओवर प्लैनेट्स. अब इन एंशिएंट, यू कैन से, एस्ट्रोनॉमी में you will come to know about Aryabhatta. Aryabhatta was a great astronomer of his time. Surprisingly, at that time, he measured the circumference of the earth at that time, and with certain modification, it is true even today. मतलब आर्यभट्ट ने उस समय पृथ्वी की परिधि का मान निकाला था, और आपको जानकर आश्चर्य होगा कि वह मान आज भी कुछ बदलाव के बाद मान्य है. So circumference of the earth that was measured by, that was estimated by Aryabhatta for the first time. And then you can say Aryabhatta was well familiar with the solar and the lunar eclipses. आर्यभट्ट को सूर्य ग्रहण एवं चंद्र ग्रहण का भी ज्ञान था. It is really a matter of surprise. Not simply that, Aryabhatta and the great priests of the work. Here I have to inform you कि normally the scholars during ancient period they didn't prefer to write their name on their book, but Aryabhatta is the single example. Aryabhatiya is the single example that has been composed by Aryabhatta, on which the name of Aryabhatta has clearly been mentioned. So from Aryabhatiya we come to know कि basically Aryabhatta was familiar even with the fact that कि अर्थ revolves around the sun. जो पृथ्वी है वो सूर्य के चारों तरफ परिक्रमा करती है, इस बात का नॉलेज आर्यभट्ट को था. तो वन यू फाइंड अ ग्रेट एस्ट्रोनॉमर वाज आर्यभट्ट. द नेक्स्ट वन वाज वाराहमिहिर. वाराहमिहिर. अब वाराहमिहिर was having the knowledge. Varamihir, although he has composed so many texts, but if there is a single one text that should be recalled by the students according to my own perception, so that is Birhad Samhita. Birhad Samhita of Varamihir is you can say a masterpiece on science and astronomy, you can say. So Varamihir informs us that कि moon revolves around the sun. If Aryabhatta tried to establish that कि earth revolves around the sun, तो Varamihir moon revolves around the earth. Varamihir tried to establish that कि moon revolves around the earth. तो इस तरह से वारामिहिर का कंट्रीब्यूशन है कि चंद्रमा पृथ्वी के चारों तरफ चक्कर लगाता है, और आर्यभट्ट ने पहले ही स्टैब्लिश कर दिया था कि पृथ्वी सूर्य के चारों तरफ चक्कर लगाती है. फिर ब्रह्मगुप्ता was also a great astronomer and he also made a contribution to astronomy, you can say. And you can say he was keeping his eyes over the planets as well as. So this is about the astronomy, you can say. Now what about physics?
सर आशुतोष करेंगे कब किसके टाइम, ये लोग कब किसके टाइम थे?
देखो आर्यभट्ट, आशुतोष, आर्यभट्ट and Varamihir both were associated with Gupta period. Even Brahmagupta was associated with Gupta period. So you already know the fact that Gupta period is supposed to be a great period from the viewpoint of the development of science and technology. So Gupta period is definitely, you can say, supposed to be a high time for the development of science and technology, you know. Physics. अब my students, physics. अब in fact the ancient people could not develop physics independently. Actually, the physics where ancient physics was having the deep relationship with the contemporary religion. मतलब जो उस समय एंशियंट जो फिजिक्स है वो एंशियंट फिजिक्स कहीं ना कहीं कॉन्टेम्पररी रिलीजन से जुड़ा हुआ है. हियर आई हैव टू इन्फॉर्म यू it was not independent. It was associated with contemporary religion. In what way? In the way that you can here cite the example of physics. So almost all the religious sects try to establish that this universe has been created by 5 elements. 5 elements: earth, air, fire, water and sky, space. मतलब एक हिंदी में कहावत है, शायद आप लोग नहीं सुनोगे, क्षितिजल पावक गगन समीरा पंच रचित या अधम शरीरा. तो जितनी भी रिलीजियस सेक्ट्स थे वो इस्टेब्लिश करने की कोशिश करते थे कि ये जो संसार है वह कहीं ना कहीं पृथ्वी से, जल से, अग्नि से, वायु से और आकाश अंतरिक्ष से बना है. सो दिस यूनिवर्स हैज बीन क्रिएटेड थ्रू द सपोर्ट ऑफ अर्थ, वाटर, फायर, एयर एंड स्पेस. तो वहां से फिजिक्स जन्म लेता है, द ओरिजिन ऑफ फिजिक्स. And then you can see, you might have heard about in Gupta period, you have heard about Vaisesika sect, you know. Vaisesika. Are you recalling? So it was Vaisesika sect, Vaisesika, which tried to establish that this universe has been created through atoms. So Vaisesika sect has given the atomic theory at that time. Atomic theory. So in one sense, this Vaiseshika sect made a contribution to the development of physics as well, or evolution of physics as well. Then come to chemistry. Chemistry. About chemistry we'll come to know, that is very clear. Even at that time, the chemistry also developed. So here you can say, up, just move slightly earlier, you will come to realize कि बेसिकली माने जो रसायन शास्त्र उसका विकास कैसे हुआ. तो वैदिक आर्यंस वो इनफैक्ट राइट फ्रॉम द टाइम ऑफ वैदिक आर्यंस दे वर मेकिंग डिफरेंट गुड्स विद द यूज ऑफ हाइड्स एंड स्किन्स. जैसे एनिमल स्किन्स उतारना, एनिमल स्किन को प्रिजर्व करना, उसके हाइड एंड स्किन, उसके लेदर बनाना, ये सब वैदिक आर्यंस के टाइम से ही चलता था. So that was giving us knowledge about the better, giving us the information about better knowledge of chemistry in ancient time. Furthermore, you will come to know that in some, you can say, physicians at that time. For example, I'll mention about Charak Samhita or Susruta Samhita, you can say. So there you will find the information about different medicines. So these medicines were produced through mixing different, you can say, juices of plant. So if ancient period, the medicine could have been developed and medicine could have been produced through mixing different, you can say, the mixing juices from different plants. So that is giving us the knowledge of chemistry as well. मतलब जो different, जो उस समय जो औषधि या मेडिसिन बनाते थे एंशिएंट जो फिजिशियंस हैं, तो वो क्या करते थे, डिफरेंट जो प्लांट्स होते थे, वनस्पति होती थी, उसका जूस निकाल के आपस में मिक्स करते थे. तो इट वाज नॉट पॉसिबल विदाउट द नॉलेज ऑफ केमिस्ट्री. फर्स्ट वन. सेकेंड वन थिंग इज दैट कि कम टू गुप्ता पीरियड, यू विल फाइंड द डिफरेंट सॉर्ट्स ऑफ कलर्स. द एंशिएंट पीपल कुड डेवलप इवन ब्लू कलर, लास्टिंग कलर. मतलब उन्होंने ब्लू कलर माने ब्लू रंग भी बनाना सीख लिया था, नीला टिकाऊ रंग भी बनाना सीख लिया था. हियर यू कैन साइट द एग्जांपल ऑफ द पेंटिंग्स ऑफ अजंता एंड द आयरन पिलर ऑफ चंद्रगुप्त विक्रमादित्य एट मेहरौली, व्हिच आई हैव डिस्कस्ड विथ यू. कि जैसे चंद्रगुप्त विक्रमादित्य का जो आयरन पिलर है, जो लोहे का पिलर है, यू विल सरप्राइज टू नो दैट लोहे का पिलर आज भी उसी तरह चमक रहा है, ब्लैकिश कलर उसका धुला नहीं है. और अजंता के पेंटिंग्स के कलर से वो आज तक मिटे नहीं. दैट इज गिविंग अ हिंट टुवर्ड्स अ मस्ट डेवलप्ड, यू कैन से, द केमिस्ट्री सब्जेक्ट ड्यूरिंग एंशिएंट पीरियड. मीन्स की केमिस्ट्री वॉज, एंशिएंट पीपल एक्सेल्ड इवन फील्ड ऑफ केमिस्ट्री. अब नाउ आफ्टर दैट यू हैव टू मूव टू मेडिसिन्स. In medicine, better to start from Atharvaveda. Atharvaveda is supposed to be the first text on medicine. So count Atharvaveda and move on. After counting Atharvaveda, you have to move on. And then after Atharvaveda, then better to count in 2nd century BC, you will cite the two examples during post-Maurya period, Charak and Susruta. So Charak and Susruta, or Charka and Susruta, you can say. So you will find कि there were the name of different, you can say, Charak Samhita and Susruta Samhita. You might have cited the example of Charak Samhita and Susruta Samhita. So two Samhitas were compiled and both the Samhitas were the great piece on medicine, you know. So great piece on medicine. Charak Samhita and Susruta Samhita. Okay.
So, why our literature and science not get fame as European in ancient time?
What?
Why our literature and science not get famous as European in ancient time?
Who has just asked this question?
Ashutosh.
अब my friends, Ashutosh has just asked us a question कि why our ancient medicine and science could not get such a fame as you find in Western world. So first of all, I have to make you clear कि there was the lack of research work, and whenever the Western scholars started to explore our history, so Western scholars started to explore our history. So Western scholars just tried to educate us that the ancient people were deeply engrossed into spiritual activities, and they were basically involved into meditation and spiritualism. Hardly did they pay attention to science and technology. They tried to establish that. So basically it was the Orientalist thinkers of Europe which created a lot of misconception about the knowledge of ancient people in the field of science and technology. They just tried to, in the manner of Max Muller, Indians basically believes in the life after death, and they are giving more importance to life after death than to the mundane world. So that's why they neglected science and technology. But it was after a lot of research which has been done by Indian scholars, then we come to know that even ancient Indians were having the greater knowledge of science and tech. तो तुम लोग अगर एंशिएंट साइंस एंड टेक के अचीवमेंट के बारे में लिखोगे तो इसी से शुरू करना कि यूरोपियन स्कॉलर्स ने हमेशा इंडियंस के साइंस एंड टेक के नॉलेज को अंडरमाइन किया था, और राइट फ्रॉम द बिगिनिंग यूरोपियन स्कॉलर्स यही इस्टेब्लिश करने की कोशिश करते थे कि एंशिएंट इंडियंस को साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी में इंटरेस्ट ही नहीं था। वो बेसिकली केवल स्पिरिचुअलिज्म में और मेडिटेशन में रुचि लेते थे, लाइफ एंड आफ्टर डेथ के बारे में ज्यादा सोचते थे, इसके बारे में कम सोचते थे। लेकिन न्यू रिसर्च के बेसिस पर ये चीजें ज्ञात हुई है। तो ऐसे ही आपको लिखना है जहां भी लिखना है। ओके मिस्टर अंकुर, शुड आई मूव फर्दर?
यस।
तो चरक एंड सुश्रुत संहिता, देन यू विल कमिंग टू गुप्ता पीरियड, you will come to know about a great physician Dhanvantari. You might have heard about the name Dhanvantari. He was a great physician. Earlier than that, you can cite the example of during Buddha period and at the time of the Bimbisara, who was the Magdhan king, Jivaka. Jivaka was also a physician. After quoting Jivaka, then you can quote Charak and Susrut and Charak and Susruta Samhita. And then Dhanvantari during Gupta period. And at that time, the text was being compiled even on medicine. So texts were being compiled even on the treatment of animals. माने एनिमल्स के ट्रीटमेंट पर भी टेक्स्ट लिखा जाता था। जैसे एक लिखा है हस्तायुर्वेदा, इन गुप्ता पीरियड देयर वाज वन टेक्स्ट हस्तायुर्वेदा, that was on the treatment of elephant. So in this way you can say कि ancient people could develop the knowledge of medicines as well. लेकिन हाँ, एक लिमिटेशन जरूर होता था कि ancient physicians were using both medicines as well as the witchcraft. witchcraft का मतलब होता है झाड़ फूक, जादू टोना। माने जादू टोना से भी वो बीमारी को ठीक करने का दावा करते थे और मेडिसिन से भी। खैर एनीवे, बट एंशिएंट पीपल वेर हैविंग द नॉलेज ऑफ मेडिसिन। सो अब साइंस में तुम इतना समझ लोगे, दैट इज एनफ, नथिंग एल्स। देन स्लाइटली ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड टेक्नोलॉजी। अब टेक्नोलॉजी में यू शुड नॉट गेट कंफ्यूज, वेरी क्लियर। सबसे पहले एंशिएंट पीपल के पॉटरीज के नॉलेज के बारे में बखान करो कि एंशिएंट पीपल कुड डेवलप द वेल furnished and well, you can say, developed potteries. Potteries, you understand, ochre colored potteries, painted graveware potteries, and a deluxe pottery, that is called deluxe pottery, northern black polished ware potteries, the red potteries. So various types of potteries were manufactured by ancient people, which is giving some knowledge about which is giving us information about their knowledge of technology. तो पॉटेज के बाद अब डिफरेंट टाइप का क्लॉथ्स दो, क्लॉथ्स। एंशिएंट पीपल कुड प्रोड्यूस द कॉटन क्लॉथ्स, वुलन क्लॉथ्स, सिल्क क्लॉथ्स, ऑल कॉटन, वुलन एंड सिल्क। एंड इन कॉटन क्लॉथ्स इंडियंस वे आर लीडिंग एट दैट टाइम, यू कैन से। So you will find that India was having a large exportable markets of cotton even during ancient period, in Roman Empire and many other regions, they were being exported. And silk route going from China, but even India was the supplier of silk at that time. So cloths. And India could have, the ancient people could produce the fine varieties of cloths. Here the glaring example of the paintings of Ajanta. In paintings of Ajanta, you can say human figures are the well dressed. So human figures are well dressed. So Ajanta paintings is giving us the knowledge of the fine variety of cloths which were being used during Gupta period. मतलब बेहतर से बेहतर क्वालिटी के कपड़े लोग पहनते थे जो अजंता के पेंटिंग से हमको सूचना मिलती है. इसके अलावा you will even find in the description of Kalidas, composition of Kalidas, you will find some evidence of the better quality of or the fine variety of cloths. So that is also important, you know. And then after cloths, metal works. अब देखो मेटल वर्क्स में हम लोग आयरन, तो आयरन वॉज नोन एज ऊतज. एंशियंट टाइम में आयरन को ऊतज कहते थे. एंड जानते हो इंडियन आयरन वॉज अनपैरेलल. इंडियन स्वॉर्ड, देयर वॉज नो मैच फॉर इंडियन स्वॉर्ड ड्यूरिंग एंशियंट पीरियड. यू कैन इवन ड्यूरिंग मेडिवल पीरियड. अभी भी तुम देखोगे, तुम क्लास 8th के एनसीईआरटी में तुमने देखा होगा आपने कि टीपू सुल्तान की तलवार अभी लंदन के म्यूजियम में रखी हुई है. तो इंडियन तलवार का कोई पैरेलल नहीं होता था. बहुत गुड वैरायटी ऑफ आयरन था. एंड इंडिया वाज द सप्लायर ऑफ आयरन एंड आयरन कटलरी टू इवन रोमन एम्पायर. यू कम टू नो. सो ऊटज, दैट वाज कॉल्ड ऊटज. And in the iron pillar of Mehrauli, that is reflecting the better quality of iron that was being produced in ancient period. And then after iron, you can say in metal में even bronze, you can say copper and bronze you can say. And apart from that, the precious metal gold and silver. So jewelries, the different varieties of jewelry. अब Kam Sutra of Vasayana has talked about Kam Sutra of Vasayana. Vasayana mentions about 64 crafts. मानो कहता है कि 64 टाइप का मेटल क्राफ्ट प्रचलित था, जिसमें ज्वेलरी भी एक महत्वपूर्ण क्राफ्ट था. द फाइन वेराइटी ऑफ ज्वेलरीज एंशियंट टाइम में मैन्युफैक्चर किए जाते थे. तो ही टॉक्स अबाउट the 64 types of crafts. Furthermore, you can see different varieties of coins. Different varieties of coins were being produced at that time. So different varieties of coins is also the example you will come to know. So these were the technology during ancient period. So ancient people were developed in the field of science and tech. Okay.
आशुतोष पूछने कि सर हिंदू रिलीजियस प्रैक्टिसेस वाज अ बोन और बेन फॉर साइंस एंड टेक इन एंशिएंट टाइम.
अब at that time you can see कि pure science was quite difficult, Ashutosh, because in ancient period the science was science was intricately linked to and associated with the religious and philosophical issues at that time, you know. So it was very difficult to prove that whether it was boon or bane for science, Ashutosh. If the religion or philosophy was boon or bane. Even during ancient period, you are just recalling the Western world and Europe. So Europe could develop such, you can say, a pure science or the rational science based on the rational ideas from 16th century onwards with the advent of Newton, William Harvey, etc. Otherwise, even you can say ancient and medieval Europe was also falling under superstition, you know. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि यूरोप में केवल प्योर साइंस एंशिएंट टाइम से ही डेवलप था. हम लोग तो एंशिएंट टाइम की बात करें। हाँ, 16th सेंचुरी से यूरोप रैशनलिज्म की तरफ मूव कर गया और हम लोग थोड़ा लेट से मूव कर सके। बट इन एंशिएंट टाइम में आज के मॉडल के आधार पर उसका जजमेंट नहीं होना चाहिए, क्योंकि यूरोप भी उस समय बैकवर्ड था।
सर निखिल पूछ रहे which one was more developed at world level in astronomy Maya और Gupta astronomy?
Who?
Nikhil,
What is the question?
which one was more developed at world level in astronomy Maya or Gupta astronomy?
No, actually ancient Greeks were supposed to be excel in the field of astronomy. In astronomy we were following. In mathematics we were leading.
Bhavna Kirik, sir, can we cite the example of Harappan civilization in the technology development?
Yes, definitely cite. In bronze, in the Bhavna, it definitely you can cite the example of Harappan civilization. You can say bronze smelting, copper smelting, etc. And the various types of arts, you can say arts forms the Harappan people were produced, and the crafts, you know. So you can cite the example of Harappan people, definitely.
रितेंद्र कह रहे हैं सर केमिस्ट्री में कुछ नहीं हुआ था।
केमिस्ट्री में तो मैंने बताया था ना हितेंद्र, तुमने गौर नहीं किया था। मैंने केमिस्ट्री में देखो ना, यहाँ पर मैंने आपको हितेंद्र लगता है शायद आपने गौर नहीं किया, मैंने 2-3 बातें कही। एक तो डिफरेंट प्लांट्स के जूस से जो मेडिसिन्स बनाए जाते थे वो भी केमिस्ट्री के डेवलपमेंट के लिए था। दूसरी बात मैंने बताया कि अजंता का जो पेंटिंग्स है, कलर्स है, तो कलर्स भी केमिस्ट्री का ही डेवलपमेंट दिखाता है ना, जिसमें लास्टिंग कलर का डेवलपमेंट कर लिया था और उन्होंने ब्लू कलर का डेवलपमेंट कर लिया था। फिर मैंने बताया था कि मेहरौली के पिलर पर जो ब्लैक पॉलिश है वो आज तक नहीं मिटी है। जो ब्लैक पॉलिश का जो परमानेंसी है वो भी तो केमिस्ट्री के डेवलपमेंट को दिखाता है।
अभय करे सर व्हाट अबाउट सर्जरी इन एंशिएंट टाइम?
हाँ, सर्जरी इन चरक संहिता एंड सुश्रुत संहिता, द सम tools have been mentioned and the tools were associated with surgery as well. So even in Charak Samhita and Sushrut Samhita you will find the description about surgery as well. So in ancient people were doing surgery as well, ancient physicians.
Kankan telling sir कि there is a one confusion, Hasta Ayurveda or Hasti Vidya?
Hasta Ayurveda. Hathi plus Ayurveda. Kankan Hasta Ayurveda is the name.
Vikas Kare sir, it was said that Indian learned astronomy from Middle East and Mongols. Is it true?
That is in medieval period, you know. Mongols were just working as the middlemen, intermediaries, because Mongols created a bigger empire. Here we are talking about the ancient period. Mongols are the phenomena of medieval age.
Ashutosh Kare sir, a second pillar can be also added in technology.
Even you can art and engineering, you can say you can even cite the example of cave architecture in technology, you know, they could build even astupas and you can say biharat they were making. So it was not possible without the knowledge of engineering, you know. So as the ancient engineering was developed, so even you can cite the example of ancient engineering, you know.
So Juman Karen sir, Harappan civilization had town planning features. So can we cite it in mathematics development?
What?
Harappan civilization had town planning feature.
Yeah.
So can we cite?
In geometry you can give the knowledge about they were having the knowledge about the measurement feet, cubic, etc. So you can cite the example of mathematics. Even the Harappan people were having the knowledge of 16 and its multiples, you know. The knowledge of decimal system was Harappan people were having the binary system and decimal system, I have told. So in the field of science and technology, as Harappan people were having the larger excellence, you can cite the example of Harappans, definitely.
Okay.
My students, we have to move to other topic, and that is technology. You find better engineering model, cave architecture, independent temple, even technology you find in the matter, types of pottery, textile industry, cotton, silk and woolen cloths, jewelry, wood iron technology, copper and bronze statue, various types of coins. Here better engineering and cave architecture, independent temple, metal art. types of pottery, textile industry, better engineering, cave architecture, independent temple, then metal art, metal में ज्वेलरी, उटज, आयरन टेक्नोलॉजी, कॉपर एंड ब्रॉन्ज स्टैचू, वेरियस टाइप्स. केवल इस डायग्राम को देखकर भी पूरे टेक्नोलॉजी को आप डिस्क्राइब कर सकते हो. ये इसी डायग्राम से आपका काम चल जाएगा. एंड यू पीपल वेरी वेल अंडरस्टैंड द थिंग्स. Practice question. Achievements of the people of ancient India in the field of science have been incomparable. Examine this statement. Discuss the significant technological advancement made by the people of ancient India, highlighting their contributions in various fields of technology. The caves built by Ashoka proved to be a milestone in the history of architecture. अब तुम लोग इन तीनों क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व करो, and wherever you find difficulty, take support from me, because my students, you have already well developed in the prelims multiple choice questions now, and I just want you to get excellence even equally in mains. So try all the three questions here. One tomorrow, one day after tomorrow, one next day, and every day you'll inform me. Mr. Ankur, you will just ask my students all the three questions. Yes, tomorrow just write this one, the next day this one, and the next day this one. Three questions. That is just the try. Please at least try this question and just do extempore writing. Don't take support from the study material at all. Go through study material, learn the things, and then do the extempore writing. अब here you can see ये क्या किया. My students, actually sources of a study, that is definitely, you can say, we are supposed to go to out of mark, you know, क्योंकि जो sources of a study है ये कम से कम GS के बच्चों को पढ़ाना मुश्किल है. But my students, actually I am a bit worried for the fact, because in 2018 UPSC exam they have asked the question over the Arabian and the Persian source. So as the Arabian and Persian source, you can say, sorry, Arabian and not Persian, Arabian and Chinese source of a study during ancient period. So Arabian and Chinese source of a study in ancient period, so that was definitely a challenge for the student. Then घबराना मत, ये तो मैंने डायग्राम दे दिया है, जैसे हमने थोड़ा ज्यादा करके दे दिया है. क्योंकि देखो, whenever you are making a study of the ancient India, so events have occurred 1,000 years back, or 100 and many centuries back, you can say. So there is no eyewitness. So from how can we make a claim of having the knowledge of history of a period which have occurred 5 centuries back, 6 centuries back, 1,000 years back? So that is really a challenge for us. So we just try to solve this problem through sources, because the sources of a study is just working as you can say a lens, a hand lens for us, because a historian is just like a spy. Historian is moving through the ages while exploring the historical sources, just like the spy. तो इतिहासकार जो होते हैं जासूस की भूमिका निभाते हैं, और वो पीछे जाकर इतिहास को कुरेद कर उसका स्टडी करते हैं. So normally you will find that there are the two types of sources. One is the archaeological source, another is literary source. So in archaeological source you can say that is lying either on the upper crust of the earth or lying beneath the earth. For example, you can say their tools, the tools of ancient people, houses, artifacts, all are working as the archaeological source. मतलब एक होता है, उसको कहते हैं पुरातात्विक साक्ष्य, जो जमीन के ऊपर पाया जाता है या जमीन के अंदर पाया जाता है, और जिसको एक्सप्लोर करके स्कॉलर्स निकालते हैं. सेकेंड वन इज द लिटरेरी सोर्स. बट इफ यू आर मेकिंग a study of ancient period, तो 99% part of ancient history which have started from Paleolithic period onwards, so we can have simply a single one source for the study of the 99% of Indian history, and that is the archaeological source. As for literary source, you can say कि simply here you can make a claim कि simply for the study of the period of nearly 2100 to 2200 years, we are having the, you can say, support of literary source from 6th century BC onwards. Otherwise that is not possible, you know. तो मतलब क्या है कि हम लोग साहित्यिक साक्ष्य हमारे पास बहुत कम है और हम मुख्य रूप से आर्कियोलॉजिकल एविडेंस पर ही डिपेंड करते हैं. अब यू आर जस्ट मूविंग टू द लिटरेरी एविडेंस. यू कैन से द डोमेस्टिक सोर्स है और फॉरेन सोर्स है. तो डोमेस्टिक सोर्स को छोड़ दीजिए, फॉरेन सोर्स है, उसमें लॉट्स ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन बट आइडिया नीड टू बी अप्रोच विथ कॉशन. लिटरेरी एविडेंस, some period of Indian historical information only understand by it. For example, history of northwest India in 4th century BC, free from biasness as comparable. बेटर कि आप इससे देख लीजिए. आर्कियोलॉजिकल सोर्सेस के बारे में थोड़ा सा बिल्डिंग्स है, रेमनेंट्स प्रोवाइडिंग वैल्यूएबल इनसाइट्स इनटू द पास्ट, यू नो. एंड उसके बाद इंस्क्रिप्शंस है. इंस्क्रिप्शंस क्या होता है कि बेसिकली द एंशिएंट पीपल वेर लिविंग देयर इंस्क्रिप्शंस. इंस्क्रिप्शंस वेर आइदर द रॉयल ऑर्डर्स, you can say, or some land donations, etc. So they were inscribed on the stone or the copper plates. So which were just inscribed on the stones or the copper plates, they are known as inscriptions. जो वो या तो तांबे वगैरह के धातु पर उसको लिखा जाता था या पत्थरों पर खुदवाया जाता था, उसी को inscriptions बोलते हैं. So these inscriptions were working as the source of study for us. Even the Harappan people left their inscriptions, but their inscriptions could not be deciphered, you know very well. उनके अभिलेखों को पढ़ा नहीं जा सका. So the first inscriptions which could be explored and approached by scholars like James Prinsep and which could be deciphered, so that was the Ashokan inscriptions which were written in Brahmi script, you know. So that is the source of study for the Ashokan period, and that is supposed to be relatively more authentic source than literary source like Indica of Megasneez or the Buddhist literature, etc., etc., or even Kautilyan Arthashastra. So they are supposed to be more authentic. And after Ashoka, the different kings left their inscriptions. For example, Junagadh inscription of Rudra Daman, you know, Hathi Gumpa inscription of Kharvela, you know. So through these inscriptions, we come to know about their history. And after that, you can say inscriptions were written in the form of eulogy. So here you will go through it and you will find here I have given you the larger ideas about inscriptions, you know. And then coins. Up from coins you will come to know about the political history. मतलब जैसे जो सिक्के हैं उनसे आप राजनीतिक इतिहास जानोगे. क्यों? सिक्कों पर राजाओं का नाम लिखा होता है और किंग अपनी तस्वीर भी सिक्कों पर छपवाते थे. अच्छा, जस्ट आई एम आस्किंग वन क्वेश्चन माय स्टूडेंट्स. आई हैव टेम्प्टेड टू आस्क यू वन क्वेश्चन. इफ आई विल जस्ट आस्क यू अ क्वेश्चन, बी मेंटली अलर्ट एंड रिप्लाई माय क्वेश्चन क्विकली. इफ समवन इज गोइंग टू आस्क यू कि व्हिच वाज द फर्स्ट डायनेस्टी इन इंडिया और which was the kings of the first dynasty of India who could issue the coins in the name of the kings for the first time. Earlier, the coins were issued by trade guilds. You can say that is artisans guilds. So guilds were issuing the coins, and which was the first dynasty, first royal dynasty which was issuing the coins in the name of the king. So please be fast. Be fast.
मैक्सिमम सातवाहन. कुशाना भी है.
Oh. You people are committing mistake here. Once again, be mentally alert. Which was the first dynasty in India which could issue the coins in the name of the kings? Try to recall. Once again. Indo-Greeks. Now you people have replied Indo-Greeks. Indo-Greeks is the first reply. earlier up to Maurya, you can say coins were issued by guilds. Now they came to be issued from Indo-Greeks, then Kushana, Satavahanan, etc. later in the same, but the first is Indo-Greeks, So we have come to know the political history, Sorry. The purity of coins is giving a hint towards the better economic conditions. So it was giving focus over the economy as well. Then on the coins, even the name of the gods was engraved. So name of the god was engraved, and sometimes the figure of the god was engraved, Now suppose you can say on Kushana coins, you will come to know about, at least you will be familiar with the 35 gods. On Kushana coins, you will find the description about 35 gods. So it was reflecting even the religious ideas of the particular dynasty and the religion, you can say सेक्टेरियन आइडियाज ऑफ द टाइम, मतलब उससे हमें धर्म पर भी प्रकाश पड़ता है क्वाइन से. सो पॉलिटिकल पर इंफेसिस करता है, इकोनॉमिक पर करता है, और फिर रिलीजन पर भी फोकस करता है. सो दैट इज क्वाइंस, Now, how do you justify the view that the level of excellence of the Gupta numismatic art is not at all noticeable in later times? Guptas could develop the better quality of coins, and such coins could not be, you can say, but after Gupta period, it is supposed that as there was a relative decline in trade and commerce, so there was the scarcity of coins. So the numismatic achievement of Guptas could not be continued in post-Gupta and early medieval age, So that is the demand of the question. कि गुप्त काल में बहुत सारे सिक्के बने थे और वो बड़ी बेटर क्वालिटी ऑफ कॉइन्स बने थे, जो बाद के टाइम में वो कॉइन्स नहीं मिलता है उतने. अब देखो, आर्किटेक्चर, स्कल्पचर एंड पेंटिंग्स, दीज आर ऑल्सो वर्किंग एज द सोर्स फॉर स्टडी, क्योंकि इनसे हमें आर्ट और इंजीनियरिंग के डेवलपमेंट का इंफॉर्मेशन मिलता है. नालंदा, भरूच, अजंता, एलोरा, एलिफेंटा एंड द केव्स इन बाग along with South Indian temples serve as invaluable windows into the development of ancient sculpture and painting tradition. तो हमें उससे आर्किटेक्चर का भी नॉलेज मिलता, स्कल्पचर का भी, पेंटिंग्स का भी. मतलब इट वाज गिविंग द इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट sculpture, the architecture, sculpture and paintings, Ab literary source. So although you find even the Vedas as the literary source, but about Vedas there is the authenticity of Vedas is questionable, because the informations given by Vedas is questionable for the fact because Vedas could have been given the final shape and it was finally compiled. So the earliest evidence we find that belongs to 11th century. So up now what informations have been given by Vedas, so how much authentic is this? So this is a, you can say, questionable thing. The religious literature, Ramayana, Pitka, already about literature you are familiar with. Up now go through it. Non-religious literature, source of study, Greco-Roman writers. Up here I have to inform about the foreign literature. So foreign account, that has been the part of your question. Foreign account. Foreign account. Foreign account. Actually, here you will come to know that India has never remained to be aloof from the outside world. India was always visited by different travelers, ambassadors, and you can say the religious monks, and they visited India from time to time, and they tried to find out the different places and they left their account about India. So if in ancient period we come to know about a lot of, you can say we come to know about the Indian history or some important events in ancient period. So it is based on the foreign account. Foreign account always worked as the supplementary work to the Indian literature which had existed at that time. Without the support of the foreign account, some part of history could have been unexplored. जब तक हमारे पास विदेशी विवरण नहीं होता तो शायद हम आज अपने हिस्ट्री को इतना बेटर नहीं जान रहे होते. तो my students, here basically when we are talking about the foreign account, so you can categorize them in three parts. Three parts, you know. One is Greco-Roman account, and Greek and Roman account. Greco-Roman account. So the first Greek author who has written about India, but he never visited India, that was Herodotus. That is the father of history. So Herodotus, although never visited India, but he wrote history on, and he wrote about India, you know. Then when Alexanders invaded on India, along with Alexander, some historians came to India. मैंने स्टडी मटेरियल में दिया हुआ है, तो आप टेंशन नहीं करना है, आपको समझना है. और स्टडी मटेरियल में बहुत ही सिस्टमेटिक दिया हुआ है, तो आपको उसे देख लेना है. मैं इसलिए कॉशियस हूं क्योंकि 2018 में एक बार फॉरेन अकाउंट पर आपसे क्वेश्चन पूछा है. और जो यूपीएससी का फितरत है, इस बार देखो कि क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं वो मेडिवल टेक्नोलॉजी के ऊपर, तो अगर सोर्सेस के ऊपर भी पूछते हैं तो कोई इसमें देयर इज नॉट अ मैटर ऑफ सरप्राइज फॉर अस. तो यहां पर मैं आपको बताता हूं कि फिर अलेक्जेंडर्स के साथ जो उसके स्कॉलर्स आए जिसने अलेक्जेंडर को एकम्पनी किया, उसमें कर्टियस, नियरकस, एनासिक्रिटिस, and Aristobulus. So these scholars were accompanied Alexander in India at that time. And they left their account about India. Surprisingly, you can say, if in 4th century BC, you will come to know about the history of Northwest, so you are not having even other source to verify the ideas given by Alexander's historians. And for the knowledge of the history of Northwest, you solely depend over the account of Alexander's historians, you know. And one important achievement of this account is what? William Jones was a British scholar. So it was William Jones who later identified the name Sendrocotus. Sendrocotus was the name which has been mentioned by Alexander's historian about Chandragupta Maurya. But there was a problem of identification of the name of Sendrocotus with any Indian king. So it was William Jones who for the first time identified the name Sendrocotus with Chandragupta Maurya. So the dates of Indian history became clear after that. देखो, हिस्ट्री की जो गुत्थियां हैं, मिस्ट्रीज हिस्ट्री की है, वो तब सुलझी है जब सेंड्रोकोटस का आइडेंटिफिकेशन चंद्रगुप्त मौर्य से हुआ है. और यह काम पहले किया है विलियम जोन्स ने. और अलेक्जेंडर्स के जो स्कॉलर्स थे उन्होंने जो अपना अकाउंट छोड़ा है, तो इट बिकेम पॉसिबल ड्यू टू द अकाउंट ऑफ अलेक्जेंडर्स हिस्टोरियंस. देन आफ्टर अलेक्जेंडर यू विल कम टू नो कि इट वाज Chandragupta Maurya and Seleucus Nicator, a battle was fought between the two, you know, and then both became relative and both became friendly. So Megasthenes, as the ambassador of Seleucus Nicator, visited Chandragupta Maurya's court. So he left his account. So Megasthenes Indica became the important source, but unfortunately it was not available today. It has been lost, and we come to know about Indica through references given by the Roman scholars of latter days. मतलब अब इंडिका अपनी ओरिजिनलिटी में आज अवेलेबल नहीं है, और आज इंडिका के बारे में हम जो भी जान रहे हैं वो अलेक्जेंडर्स के स्कॉलर्स के मार्फत जान रहे हैं. अलेक्जेंडर्स के स्कॉलर्स के मार्फत हम इंडिका के बारे में जान रहे हैं. तो एक तो आपने ही लेफ्ट द ग्रेसो रोमन अकाउंट, यू नो, दैट इज कॉल्ड ग्रेसो रोमन अकाउंट. and then you will come to know about Greco-Roman. And during early Christian century, there were the important Roman scholars, not Greek scholars, Roman scholars now. Pliny, Strabo, Diodorus. So these scholars were the Roman scholars, and they wrote profusely over India. And today, during early Christian centuries, you will come to know about Roman trade. So it is through the references by these scholars you come to know about Roman trade, So one is the Greco-Roman source. Another is Chinese source. Although Chinese travelers who were the Buddhist monks, so they came to India from time to time to collect, Buddhist text. Although it's Singh and even many other scholars came to India, but two scholars are quite, you can say, worth recording. And one is Fahian. Who came to India he was a Buddhist monk, and even Huenshan. So both came to India for collecting the literature from India, That is called Buddhist literature. So Fahian was contemporary to Gupta king Chandragupta Vikramaditya. But Fahian didn't mention about any Gupta king. Here I have to inform you. He has talked about the prosperity of Madhya Desha. He has talked about the prosperity of Patliputra. Although he didn't mention about Chandragupta Vikramaditya, as you find in case of Huenshan. But he left the account, and in 4th century CE, if you come to know about a lot about Gupta period, so it is on the basis of Fahian's account. जैसे फाहियान आया, वो चंद्रगुप्त विक्रमादित्य का कॉन्टेम्पररी था, लेकिन कहीं भी चंद्रगुप्त विक्रमादित्य का नाम उसने नहीं लिया है. लेकिन फिर भी हम गुप्ता पीरियड के अकाउंट जानने के लिए हम फाहियान के डिस्क्रिप्शन का बहुत ज्यादा यूज करते हैं. देन कम्स द टर्न ऑफ Huenshan. Huenshan was contemporary to Harsha, and he was given proper hospitality by Harsha, He decorated the court of Harsha between 629 to 645. So he left a rich account about Harsha and his time, not simply about Harsha's empire, but he visited even South India. He went to Kanchipuram. He even left the account of Pulkesin II, a war between Harsha and Pulkesin II, तो जो उसका अकाउंट है उससे हमें बहुत सारा इंफॉर्मेशन मिलता है. तो ये जो चाइनीज सोर्स है ये भी इंपॉर्टेंट है. एंड देन यू कैन से अरबियन सोर्स. थर्ड वन सोर्स इज अरबियन सोर्स. So if you will talk about the Arabian scholars, you will find the important scholars. One is Suleiman, you will find in my study material, who visited India in 9th century. And he talked about Palaj and Pratiharas. Then comes Al-Masudi in 10th century. Al-Masudi in 10th century. So he talked about Rashtrakutas. He called Rashtrakuta kings as Vallabh Raja. मतलब सुलेमान आया, फिर अल-मसूदी 10th century में आया, but most important author is Al-Biruni. He came to India along with the army of Mahmud Ghaznavi and Mahmud Ghazni. But he got dissociated from his army, and just like a freelance scholar, he visited different part of India. He made a very serious study of Sanskrit literature. He learned the knowledge of Sanskrit in India first, and then he, you can say, explored the Sanskrit text, and then he left his account about India. And Al-Biruni's account is supposed to be a very important account for the knowledge of the history of the first half of 11th century in North India, the social and cultural history. For the knowledge of social and cultural history of the North India in first half of 11th century, we almost depend over the account of Al-Biruni. जैसे अल-बिरूनी तो आया था महमूद गजनी की आर्मी के साथ, लेकिन उसने महमूद गजनी के आर्मी का साथ छोड़ दिया और फ्रीलांस स्कॉलर की तरह उसने इंडिया के डिफरेंट रीजन्स का विजिट किया. अब देखो, अब ये आपके लिए वास्तव में सरप्राइजिंग होगा कि वो संस्कृत सीखा. अब संस्कृत जानते हो कितना चैलेंजिंग है, फॉरेन स्कॉलर है, संस्कृत सीखा और तब संस्कृत के टेक्स्ट का स्टडी किया. क्या टैलेंट था उसका, कैसा इंडोलॉजिस्ट था वो. और उसके बाद उसने इंडिया के बारे में जो अपना अकाउंट छोड़ा है वो 11वीं सेंचुरी के फर्स्ट हाफ में। अगर आपको नॉर्थ इंडिया जानना हो, नॉर्थ इंडिया के बारे में, तो ऑलमोस्ट यू हैव टू डिपेंड ओवर अलबरूनीज अकाउंट। तो मैं स्टूडेंट्स मेरे स्टडी मटेरियल में 1-2 बार पढ़ लेना, जो भी थोड़ा बहुत याद हो उसी के सहारे आप क्वेश्चन का आंसर लिख सकते हो, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। एग्जैक्ट और बहुत ज्यादा किसी को भी याद नहीं रहता है। ध्यान रखना कि क्वेश्चन राइटिंग इज एग्जैक्टली अ मैनिपुलेशन। If you are having certain informations, you have to manipulate the things. Mr. Ankur, is it okay?
Yes.
Ab now, I have left here 1 and 2 questions, so I have to discuss the question.
Sir, Ashutosh कह रहे हैं कि getting problem in revision and recalling. Please help me, sir.
Be a thinking creature. My only help is be a thinking creature, make a revision or try to link. देखो आशुतोष, once again I am making you clear. If you will try to learn the things through if you will try to rote learning, do the rote learning, so that will create a problem. Do rote learning after understanding if certain names, certain dates you can learn. Rote learning is useful. I am not denying and I am not rejecting rote learning, but after developing understanding, मतलब रोट लर्निंग करो तो अंडरस्टैंडिंग डेवलप करने के बाद एक दूसरे में लिंक करो। देखो मैंने स्ट्रक्चर बना के हर जगह पढ़ाया, तुम स्ट्रक्चर ब्रेक कर देते हो आशुतोष, इसलिए तुमको प्रॉब्लम होता है। जो भी स्ट्रक्चर ब्रेक करोगे उसको फिर याद नहीं रहेगा। अगर स्ट्रक्चर में चलोगे तो यू विल डेफिनेटली रिकॉल, और फिर अगर तुमको रिकॉल नहीं रहता है तो इतने सारे क्वेश्चन कैसे सॉल्व करते हैं, इतने चैलेंजिंग क्वेश्चन प्रीलिम्स के सॉल्व करते हैं। सो यू शुड नॉट, you have to gain Arabian authors, writers, you know, चाहे अरबियन अकाउंट भी कर सकते हैं, अकाउंट। Practice question. Assess the importance of accounts of the Chinese and Arab travelers in the reconstruction of history of India, UPSC 2018, 150 words का क्वेश्चन था। The spread of Indian culture was not limited to Indian subcontinent, but it also spread outside the Indian subcontinent. My students, this question is very important. You people have to go. मतलब ये आपको ये कह रहा है कि इंडियन कल्चर केवल इंडियन सबकॉन्टिनेंट तक ही कन्फाइन नहीं रहा था, बल्कि इंडिया से बाहर भी स्प्रेड किया था। तो ये क्वेश्चन कभी अब तक नहीं पूछा है, बट एनी टाइम दे कैन आस्क द क्वेश्चन। Indian culture didn't remain to be confined to India alone, but it spread to even the other parts of the world. Ab other parts means in Asia, but not in Europe, but in Asia you can say. Ab how? The history of the art of East Asia and South Asia would be incomplete without the study of Indian art. Examine this statement. मतलब both the questions are similar to each other, you know. So the economic relations between ancient India and the outside world have been well studied, but the exploration of cultural relations has been neglected. मतलब relatively, not neglected you can say, has relatively been neglected. जैसे ये कह रहा है कि हम एंशियंट टाइम में जो आउटसाइड वर्ल्ड के साथ इंडिया का इकोनॉमिक रिलेशन था उस पर तो काफी रिसर्च हुआ है, लेकिन जो इंडिया का कल्चरल रिलेशन था उस पर प्रॉपर वर्क नहीं हुआ है, तो वो वर्क होना चाहिए, ये बोल रहा है। इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट टू रिकॉग्नाइज दैट एज इंडिया एंगेज इन ट्रेड एंड इंटरैक्शन विद अदर रीजन्स, इट्स कल्चर ऑल्सो स्प्रेड। ट्रेडर्स, ब्राह्मीन्स, बुद्धिस्ट मॉन्क्स, जैना सेंट्स and independent entrepreneurs played an important role in disseminating Indian culture. मन इन सब का इंडियन कल्चर को फैलाने में रोल है। During the time of Kushans, India's direct contact with the Silk Route, leading to the spread of Indian culture in Central Asia and East Asia, a Buddhist scholar named Kumar Jiva visited the region in the 4th century, contributing to the spread of Buddhism to China, Japan and Tibet. Kumar Jiva was the scholar at the time of post-Maurya period. And during post-Maurya period, during Kushanas, you can say that the Indian culture could have been spread to Central Asia. It was the time the Silk Route was functioning, Silk Route. So China was linked to the Roman Empire, and on the Silk Route, the Indian culture, India was at that time the intermediary between Roman Empire and Chinese Empire, you know. So contributing to the spread of Buddhism to China, Japan and Tibet, along with religion, Indian Buddhist literature and art also gained popularity in these areas. Indian culture also reached Southeast Asia, influenced by both Buddhist and Brahmin traditions. A version of the epic Ramayana developed indigenously in Southeast Asia, inspired by the story from northern India. The influence of Indian culture can be seen in Thailand. And where the ancient capital was named Ayutthaya. अब थाईलैंड में देखो इंडियन कल्चर का कितना इंपॉर्टेंट है कि वहां पर उसका जो थाईलैंड का कैपिटल है उसका नाम था अयुथ्या. इट वॉज बेस्ड ऑन अयोध्या. रामायण और महाभारत का इतना इंपैक्ट था साउथ ईस्ट एशिया में. which resembles Ayodhya. The Pallava and Chola rulers played important roles in spreading Brahmin religion and culture. Impressive architectural structures like the Vishnu temple in Angkor Wat. अब देखो अंकोर वाट में जो विष्णु टेम्पल है वो वर्ल्ड का वो एक बहुत बड़ा विष्णु टेम्पल माना जाता है. एंड अंकोर वाट एंड कंबोडिया and the Borobudur temple in Buddhist temple in Indonesia exemplify the spread of Indian culture influence. बोरबोडूर का जो बुद्धिस्ट टेम्पल है वह सबसे बड़ा दुनिया का बुद्धिस्ट टेम्पल माना जाता है जो साउथ ईस्ट एशिया में है. एंड ऑल्दो इट डेवलप्ड इन इंडिया, यू नो. तो however, it is important to note two things when studying the spread of Indian culture beyond the Indian subcontinent. First, Indian culture didn't remain static but evolved as it interacted with regional elements. Second, the spread of culture was not one-sided as Indian culture also absorbed influences from other regions. मतलब हम ऐसा न करें अल्ट्रा नेशनलिज्म के रॉ में ना बहें कि हम ही ने दुनिया को दिया. हमने भी दुनिया से लिया, हमने भी उनसे बहुत कुछ एब्जॉर्ब किया. एंड for instance, the widespread use of betel. Betel means pan. And betel nut. Betel nut मतलब सुपारी. पान और सुपारी साउथ ईस्ट एशिया से आया है. तो betel and betel nut in India was adopted from South East Asia, you know, and appropriated, adopted from Southeast Asia. Today, this ancient connection between India and other regions remains significant. It has shaped India's relations with Southeast Asian countries and serves as a foundation for cultural diplomacy. Today, you know, if we can develop the country with Southeast relations with the country with Southeast Asia, so today it is the basis of cultural diplomacy between India and Southeast Asia, you know. A notable example of this shared cultural heritage is the Nalanda University project. My friends, Nalanda University project has been almost neglected by NDA government. It was the project under the Congress government, you know. So in Nalanda University project in India, you can say, you will try to find out that basically there is a place that is called Bali. In Southeast Asia, you can say, with the support of Singapore in Nalanda, the old university was being re-innovated. Although it was in process, but it is the project of the Congress government, so it was relatively neglected by this government, you know. So now it became the basis for cultural diplomacy. देखो आज जो है एक सांस्कृतिक कूटनीति शब्द बहुत ज्यादा चल निकला है. तो साउथ ईस्ट एशियन कंट्रीज के साथ जो हमारा रिलेशन है वो कहीं ना कहीं सांस्कृतिक कूटनीति से प्रभावित है. अब देखो एक्सप्लेन नेचर ऑफ इंडियन कल्चर इन एंशिएंट टाइम्स टू डिटरमाइन हाउ इट बिकेम एन एग्जांपल ऑफ यूनिटी इन डाइवर्सिटी. तो आंसर देखिए, यूनिटी इन डाइवर्सिटी का मैंने दिया है, इसको आप लोग पढ़ लेना. लिंग्विस्टिक लिटरेचर, आर्किटेक्चर, स्कल्पचर. Describe any 4 cultural elements of diversity in India and rate their relative significance in building a national identity. अब ये सबको आप लोग पढ़ लेना है. Mention the cultural contribution of हर्षवर्धन. ये भी आप पढ़ लेना. अब इन तीनों क्वेश्चंस को पढ़ना, कहीं भी आपको प्रॉब्लम हो तो यू कैन आस्क मी द क्वेश्चन, क्योंकि मैंने बहुत क्लियर कट वहां पर दे दिया और पीछे हम लोग चर्चा कर चुके हैं. कल्चर डाइवर्सिटीज की भी चर्चा कर चुके हैं, हर्षवर्धन के कंट्रीब्यूशन की भी कभी चर्चा कर चुके हैं. ये केवल मैंने एक मॉडल आंसर के रूप में दे दिया कि आप लोग उसको पढ़ोगे. यू हैव टू गो थ्रू द मॉडल आंसर, और एनी ह्यूअर यू फाइंड डिफिकल्टी, आई एम विथ यू. टुडे यू आर हैविंग स्लाइटली अ मोर बर्डन, I can very well understand, but tomorrow I'll send you the first material, Mr. Ankur, of the part 3rd, that is the political history. and then from tomorrow we have to enter into the part third. Part third is not so time taking as the part second, you know. It was a major chunk in culture part, and but still even this will this year the question has in economic segment also they have asked exclusive questions, so we have to pay more. हालांकि मैं तो आपको जानते हो कि मैं पॉलिटिकल, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव, इकोनॉमिक, सोशल एंड देन कल्चरल में कवर करूंगा, तो मैं तो उसी फार्मूला के बेसिस पर बढ़ूंगा, तो नथिंग इज गोइंग टू बी नेग्लेक्टेड, एवरीथिंग वुड बी कवर्ड. So should I stop here today? I'll see you tomorrow. I'll send you the study material. Okay, my students, good night. I'll see you.